LadyGang, you got into the podcast game so quick.
I'm so tired, Roxy.
No, well, that's what your ass gets for trying to do everything. Sorry. That's exactly what your ass gets for trying to do everything.
Yeah.
What do you think about the podcast space now? And like, are you one? I know, of course, you got in literally at the. I remember you were like, Roxy, can you come do this podcast?
You were like the 7th or 8th episode.
I was like, what the hell is that? Well, what
Yeah.
are you doing? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Now here I am doing mine.
Yeah.
But like, how do you feel about it now? And what do you think makes LadyGang still so successful today?
I think LadyGang is successful because I learned so much in TV that we program the show like a TV show. Mm-hmm. It's got a beginning, middle, end. It's always changing. We've changed with the different, trends. Just last week we were back in the top 5, which is like crazy. We haven't been in the top 10 since we launched 10 years ago. I think we've created this beautiful community of women. And I think people have come, they've left, they've come back. We just keep going, and realizing that the people that listened to us 10 years ago might not be the same group that's listening to us now. And our girl has grown. So we've, we may have started doing a lot of dating and doing a lot of like sex stuff. And now we're like getting into motherhood and career and hormones. And people are like, can you talk about perimenopause? And I was like, sure can. Yeah. So I think growing with the audience, it truly is my proudest thing. I'm so proud of what we've created, and I love my co-host Jack and Becca so much. I do have some qualms about the podcast world, and I will tell you, I think we do ourselves a great disservice with the way these headlines come out about everyone making money off their podcast and doing these massive podcast deals. When you see people being like, this person got $100 million here, and this person got $100 million here. It makes people like me, I have an incredibly successful podcast. No one's giving me $100 million, The people who are hosting television shows, no one's giving them $100 million. So they make and I wanna just explain this because I think it does a great disservice to the entire podcast community, whether you have 5 listeners every week or you have 100,000 listeners. They are offered $100 million, and that includes their branding and their advertising. And also it's like, hey, Roxy, make this podcast and we'll give you $100 million if you get 6 bajillion downloads every single month. You have to hit a download quota that no one on earth could hit. But they do that so that they can get this big splashy thing. We are worth $100 million. It makes the rest of us feel like shit, to be honest with you. We have a very successful podcast. We have sponsors, we have had books and television shows, and I read that and I'm like, wow, all this work I did and like I'm worthless, and I hate that. I just feel like I wish people were a little bit more honest because everyone starts a podcast being like, and then I can make $100 million. No, you can't. You are not. It's impossible. Like that's not what's happening. The reason that the guys from SmartList are on a private jet is because they're all 3 independently famous actors that have been working for 30 years. Exactly. You don't get a private jet from making a podcast. I'm sorry. So make your podcast, be excited when you make $400 and close it.